Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk. I'm TJ O'Connor. With me, as always, Damian the Wolverine Hill. Trash Talk is brought to you by the lovely sponsors of the show: Valhalla Combat Sports Incorporated, Ink Shrinks Tattoo, Origin Wellness CBD, the Striking Institute, Spartan Martial Arts, James Clark Sports Psychology and Hypnosis Therapy, The Fighters, and my mom. Damian, what's that you have on your face?
Man, this is just the best designed, highest quality, most, desired thing more than Gucci and fucking, whatever other fucking famous people wear shit out there. This is the best. This is what everybody wants. This is fashionable. This is the trash talk quarantine mask because fucking Walmart up the street won't let me in there unless I have a fucking mask on now.
Man, where do we get those fine masks?
Right here, homie. No, just honestly, man, people just hit me up. I got them. I'll try my best to try and meet up with everybody. I mean, I don't know. I could possibly mail them out to you too if you're too far away. But I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take to get to you guys. But one of the things that was on my mind when James Clark, our sponsor, owner of Valhalla Combat Sports, when he said that he was going to place this order for me and actually get us these masks, I was also thinking about once the quarantine does end. I mean, there might be some restrictions on the fans when they do start having fights or shows or even other sporting events, not even including MMA, you know? How limited, what are going to be the restrictions and things like that? And one of the things that everybody's saying right now are these masks, you know? So why not just hop on board? And I mean, I can sit and complain about it, but fuck it. If they're going to force me to wear a mask, I might as well wear the baddest motherfucking mask on the planet. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine. If I'm sitting down with the boys on a night out, having a couple cold brewskis at the fight, there's the only thing I'm wearing is the Trash Talk mask. I mean, is there a bigger status symbol than the Trash Talk mask when it comes to picking up women?
Hell, motherfucking no! These bitches love this shit. I'm sorry, bitches. I didn't mean that. But anyway, I'm actually gonna take this shit off because I can't really talk with it on, and it's one of those things. Like, I mean, like I said, I don't know how serious everybody out there takes it. I know the coronavirus is a real thing, but at the same time, I'm not afraid to go out there and be around people and to breathe the white man's air, as they say.
Damn.
So like I don't feel like I need the mask, but there are some places that feel like we do need it. I respect them for, I mean, I guess that's their decision if they don't want me in their store without wearing the mask. I know the laundromat up the street made me wear a mask the other day and it fucking sucked. It was pretty thick. I couldn't breathe through it. I got asthma and shit, you know, I got some problems, upper respiratory issues. Oh shit. But anyway, this mask is a little bit thinner, and actually I can breathe through it, and I guess I'm still keeping up with the look to have, you know, the illusion.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's one of those things where, as we start taking steps towards getting back to normal, I mean, there are gives that you have to be able to take with it. So if they're going to open up fights, if they're going to open up bars, I mean, if we're required to wear a mask in the meantime, I mean, sure. I mean, I guess if we have to do it, we have to do it. And if we have to do it, why not do it in one of those fly-ass Trash Talk masks?
You know, so I don't know. And then once everything does get back into effect, what do you see it being? Do you think that they actually will require fans to wear gloves, socially distance themselves, and then wear masks?
I don't know if it's going to go that far. I wouldn't be surprised for the first couple events we see back if they're limited capacity. And that sucks for the promoters because we've stated many times that that's how they make their money. So if they have to run a show at 50% and kind of space people out, I could see something like that happening.
Is it worth it to run a show at that point, do you think? I mean, I one of the things that goes through my mind, because I like, as I'm asking the question, like I'm thinking about multiple answers. It's like, I don't know. I love fighting, and if I was the owner of a promotion, I should never be the owner of a promotion. Let me just put that there first. I would lose money almost every single time, but it's one of those things. I would go out there and lose money just to put on a show,
100%.
just to keep going, you know. But at the same time, that's not smart business-wise. I'm not a good businessman, but promoters need to be.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would say it. I'll say it on the show plenty of times, and I'll say it again. If you're running a promotion, do not give me the keys to your promotion because I'm going to be for the fighters, and I'm not going to be helping with the money aspect. But when you look at it, and obviously it's going to be on a much smaller scale than what the UFC did and what some of these other shows that are talking about coming back are doing. But I mean, in the age of 2020, I think promoters need to start looking at that next level, looking at providing a stream maybe. If there's limited capacity, people are going to be more willing to pay $5, $10 to watch a local fighter at a fight that they can't go to in person per se. So, I mean, I know there's challenges with that as well. So I'm not saying that that's the end all be all, but we have to start looking at ways to branch out because it might be 6 months, it might be 2 weeks. We don't know how long the situation is going to be where it is, but we have to adapt, and that's fighting.
I want to talk about something that you brought up right now, where the streaming it and having the fans pay for that. I mean, $5 seem really fair, but at the same time, these promotions aren't really there. If there's not a ticket gate, then that $5 and $10 doesn't really matter too much. Do you think that it would be smart to sell? I mean, still charge $35 a general admission ticket to everybody. There's no VIP. There's no cage side. There's no upper deck, whatever seats are available and stuff, all the different price ranges. Every ticket is, I mean, the stream is $35, the same as the general admission. Do you think that if they did go that route of charging $5 and $10 or even the $35 to everybody, do you think that that would still hurt them financially? I mean,
there's a good chance it would. I mean, I can't think of many shows that are probably bringing in huge money as it is. So, I mean, every dollar counts, and we're talking about tickets. But like I said, again, you stated it. We said it. We're not promoters, but from my standpoint, and maybe this could just be an ignorant fan standpoint, any promoter, feel free to tell me I'm an idiot. But I feel like you have to be prepared maybe to put on 1 or 2 shows where you're not gonna see a return just to keep that fan base. And then when things get normal, I mean, obviously people are gonna funnel back. So that could be a plan as well. Like I said, any promoter out there, feel free to tell me I'm an idiot and feel free to do it. But from my outside perspective, you got to put shows on.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you you're an idiot anyway.
Yeah.
But I do like how you stated that. That you got to be willing to. I mean, as a promoter, have in your mind, because all these promoters do think about that. They have to, especially the first show. Almost every promoter says that they lost money their first show. Almost every single one. Who makes money their first show? Who makes money after their third show? Even sometimes it's like it takes time to grow these things. And if you're you're gonna take a loss sometime, why not knowingly just take this loss, take one for the team? I don't know, sacrifice a show, because you're not sacrificing the show. It's one fight card, possibly, and then again keep everybody interested. And then once everything does get back to normal,
yeah, and there's obviously and there's obviously different stuff with it, because I think one of the things that's been shown, and one of the things that became painstakingly obvious when watching the UFC event over the last week, you don't need to rent out a big arena for this. I mean, if you got a room big enough to put a cage and some cameras, you got your venue for a live stream.
That just made me think of something else, dude. These gyms are suffering right now. A lot of the gyms, because they don't qualify for the for the stimulus and the small business and everything, even though in the small business ran out, I guess, and all that stuff too. But anyway, these gyms are big enough to, some of them do have cages and rings, have them at that venue as a fundraiser for these gyms. Possibly, I don't know how that would all work, but because promotion still has to make their money. But if the gyms are all closed down, then these promotions are gonna have to have less quality fights, and fans aren't gonna want to pay top dollar for horseshit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that I haven't really considered until we just had this conversation. I mean, even as we're talking now, but it's we talk all the time about MMA being a family, being a unit. I mean, I feel like for these first couple shows, we're really going to have to see guys come together. You're going to have to see gyms take risks. You're going to have to see promoters take risks. You're going to see fighters take risks. And with great risk is great reward. So, I mean, we could easily see maybe one of these shows, they do it and it's not successful. I mean, I truly hope not. I don't think that would be the case. I feel like the fans are itching for content, whether they get to go live or if they have to look at a stream. But we'd have to look at the best case scenario. But you put on a show right now and you get the biggest numbers you ever got. You got Sam from Mankato who doesn't watch fights, but hey, he found out that there's a stream, and why not? And now he's at every show, VIP, buying crazy bottle tickets and shit. So I mean, you have to. I mean, like I said, these are obviously crazy examples, but I feel like there has to be a chance taken. And I know from my perspective, not being the one who's going to be putting the money up, not that I have it, but to put the money up on the show, I get that it's easy to say that, but I feel like to get things going again, someone's gonna have to start twerking that wrench to get the wheel going. You know what I mean?
I really do like the way that you wrap that up, especially the analogy, twerking the wrench and getting it wound up, because that's exactly what's going to need to happen. I feel like our sponsor, not to toot his horn, but 22BB, actually put on a show and had some pretty good success. I mean, relative success for the show. And ultimately, I think his next show is probably going to be the best show he's ever had. It's looking to be that way anyway, on paper. I mean,
I honestly didn't even think about that example, but we have the visual proof to what I was just saying. You have to be prepared to put on a show where you're not going to see that same investment you get. We've been to some of those shows. We've been to some of those Valhalla shows. Jim does decent business on some of those nights. I guarantee you. I mean, I'm not Jim's accountant. I don't know what goes on, but I guarantee you, this show on this past on May 10 wasn't a big money draw. I mean, there was obviously no fans, but like you said, it made that imprint. The fighter stepped up, and now, I mean, he already has a full card booked for June, and I mean, we're still 7 weeks away. So you said you're looking for one of the biggest shows, and it's that slingshot effect. People want to see fights. People want to resume back to the normal life. We understand it's a serious situation, but sometimes you have to move forward.
And that wraps up this episode of Trash Talk with Damian and TJ. TJ, you wrapped it up perfectly. People watching this video, like this video, subscribe to Trash Talk with Damian and TJ. And TJ, could you remind them of the most important of all?
I mean, I really hope they wouldn't have forgot something this important, but check under your Snapple caps, look in the cereal box, and find the toy. Most important, always and foremost, do not be a hoe.